Orchard Park Country Club for hosting us while Fox Run's renovating and reorganizing and building up new and exciting things. So we're glad you all could come here and join us today. My name is Mary Lou Latina Land. I'm the Director of Marketing and Sales here at Fox Run, not here, at Fox Run at Orchard Park. I've done this speech a few times at Fox Run. So I just want to thank you all. For today, I'm going to go around the room and introduce all the staff that has joined us today. And then I'll give a brief presentation on Fox Run. I'm going to hand it over to our CEO, Bill Wlodarczyk, who's going to talk about the exciting expansion that we have going on. And then we're going to enjoy lunch. There should be a staff member at every table, so if you have questions, feel free to ask them. And if they don't know, they will find someone else who does. So I'm just going to go around the room and introduce everyone. So all of you probably spoke to Elizabeth Nelson on the phone. First and foremost, that is Elizabeth. She is the organizer of the marketing department. And then next over is Robin McCosey. She is our controller. So she handles all of our financing for us, and she makes sure we all get paid, so she's our favorite employee. No one's at that back table. Maureen Gorski, a lot of you will speak to her. She is a sales and marketing counselor, so if you want to come and take a tour and learn about Fox Run, Maureen's one that you would speak to. Melissa Metlack, she does it all. She has several titles, which are all escaping my memory at the moment. But she's been at Fox Run for 19 years, like myself. And let's see, Allison Gardner, she's our Director of Resident Services. So when you move into Fox Run, I say that Allison is in charge of all the fun people. So the drivers, the creative arts teams, the events, the fitness, all the fun stuff, Allison is your go-to. And next to Allison is Liesel Banker. She's our communication specialist. So she communicates between Fox Run and the construction, Lehigh Construction, for all this big project. She also communicates between the board of directors, the management team, and all the residents. So she's going to be your go-to person as well when you move in. And let's see, Michelle Birmingham is another one of our marketing and sales counselors, so you'll speak to her about touring Fox Run, but she also handles all of our advertising and invitations and mailings and all that good stuff. And Jill Shala is our CFO. So if you have really hard questions, she's the one you want to go to. And Bill. And we have Pierre over here at this last table. Pierre Rogers is our HR director. So if you really like all of us, tell her how great we are because she hired us. And Killian Uziak is our IT specialist. So when you move in, he can make sure that your TV is running, but he also does a lot of the stuff behind the scenes. All right, and Christine Simpson is another one of our sales and marketing counselors. So again, when you call after today and you want to learn more, take a tour, look at an apartment, she is also who you're going to be talking to. And Torino Gasberry, he is our admissions coordinator for the health center. So Fox Run has all levels of care, the independent living, assisted living, memory care, skilled nursing. When your needs change and you need more care, Torino is who you're going to call. Okay, so let's get started. So I already went over what we're going to learn today. Has anyone been to the Fox Run campus? Oh, good, great. Well, we welcome you back, but we did open in '07. Obviously, Bill's been there every day. And it's a 54-acre campus on the corner of 28 in California, so when you drive by. And we are the only retirement community in the South Towns. Does anybody know the other continuing care retirement community in Western New York? Canterbury Woods, good job. They're our friendly competitor in the North Towns. And like Canterbury, we are also not-for-profit. So Fox Run has 3 different plans. When you move in, you can have the 80% refundable, you can have a traditional or a choice care contract. And then there's a monthly service fee that pays for all the good stuff. So you could think of it as rent, but we call it a monthly service fee because it includes so much more. And you'll realize that you can have worry-free living all under one roof. So I'll get into the contracts and explain that a little bit more. So the first plan is the 80% refundable, and all this information is in your packets as well. So if you have any questions, it's all in your packets, and again, we invite you to come back to Fox Run and have a meeting with one of the staff. So the 80% refundable plan is the most popular, it's also the most expensive, But what it does for you is it guarantees you care for life, and you get to go from level to level to level without your monthly service fee going up. So when you move in as an independent living resident, you have a one-time fee that's going to be 80% refunded back to you or your estate, and you're guaranteed care in our assisted living, our memory care, and our skilled nursing. And skilled nursing is 24-hour round-the-clock care. And then your monthly service fee doesn't increase, and then when you leave Fox Run, say you want to move to the Carolinas or Alaska, 80% of that amount that you paid is going to go back to you or your estate. So it's a way to leave it to your kids, or I always say St. Bonaventure University, because that's where I went to college, but you can leave it to wherever you want. 80% is going to go back to you or your estate, no matter what. There's also the traditional plan, so if you didn't want to leave a legacy, this plan is less expensive than the 80% refundable plan, so that's the bonus. It's less expensive up front to come in. That one-time fee is less expensive. You're still guaranteed care for life to go from level to level to level and back and forth. Even as couples, one could be in assisted living and one could be in independent living, and your monthly service fee does not go up. However, you just don't get any of that money back after 4 years. So the original plan, you pay a little bit more and get 80% back. Traditional, you pay a little bit less, but you don't get any of that money back. The big thing that I want you to walk away with though is that all of our plans, you are guaranteed care for life. So you never have to worry about what if something happens to me, my sister, my brother, my spouse. Fox Run is guaranteeing you care for life, and that's the advantage to moving to Fox Run. And last but not least is choice care, which is a little bit complicated. Can everyone raise their hand if you have an existing long-term care insurance policy? Okay, so this plan was set up with you in mind. However, you can choose any of the 3 plans, but this plan was specifically had those long-term care insurance policy holders in mind. You still get 80% back, so 80% is still going to go back to you or your estate when you leave. You're still guaranteed care for life. However, the monthly service fee does go up after 90 days when you move to the health center and you need more care. And it's a way for you to maximize on your long-term care insurance dollars. I know this is a little confusing, but some of your policies cover a lot more, and we want to make sure that you maximize on those dollars. So the entrance fee is less than the 80% refundable. You still get 80% back. However, the monthly service fee does go up, and that's a way for you to maximize on your long-term care insurance dollars. Financially, it doesn't really make sense for anyone who doesn't have a policy to take this plan, but people who have a policy are able to take all 3 plans. And I do invite you to bring in your policy, dust it off, get it out of the file cabinet or wherever you have it, and then bring it in and meet with one of us so we can go over how Fox Run works with you and your policy. Because we all know that every single policy is different. It doesn't matter. Even from couples that took it out at the exact same time together, they're all different. And lots of different companies offer them. And then we talked about a little bit about that monthly service fee, how you can kind of think of it as rent, but this is everything that it includes. So you never have to worry about if the shingles rip off in this crazy wind, or if the siding rips off. All the utilities are included, internet, cable, your housekeeping included every other week, and there is a very strong no tipping policy at Fox Run, so you can't tip anyone. So everything's included, you don't have to worry about all that homeowner things that pop up. Okay, and then I'm going to pass it over to Bill to talk about the expansion.
Thank you, Mary Lou. And I encourage all of you, if you do, what Mary Lou just went through very quickly can be very complicated. So I encourage you to meet with a sales counselor to really get into it in depth. It'll make a lot more sense if it doesn't right now. So I'm fortunate enough, I get to talk about the fun stuff. I know if you don't speak publicly for a living, which none of us do, it's easier to talk when you're excited about the topic. So, and I'm very excited about this. So our expansion. We decided about 5 years ago, what does the future of Fox Run look like now that we're all grown up? And so we checked in with a few consultants and came up with everything's on the table. Let's come up with a plan. And what made most sense for a community that's really maxed out its capacity and with a growing wait list, it made sense to expand on our own footprint. We do have 54 acres, much of it is wetland, but we hired an architect who was able to design something pretty special. So what are we doing? So we're expanding our independent living apartments and patio homes. We're adding 63 new apartments and 8 new patio homes. Now the layout and the styles with 6 different floor plans for the apartments are very similar to what we have. We felt it was important, and state regulators also felt it was important, that you don't want to create something new that's so different than what you already have. But what we've been able to do in the process is understand what could we have done differently back in 2007. So if you think about our apartments, our existing apartments and patio homes, they're very nice. And the new ones will have little adjustments based on the folks who live there. So we thought it was a great idea to talk to the existing Fox Run community to say, we know you love it here, what would you do differently? And these are subtle things, like let's add a pocket door here or there, or I don't like the stackable washer and dryer. So those little nuances we've been able to incorporate. So this is an aerial drone rendering. So this just kind of shows you, right, this road here is California, I'm sorry, this is a Big Tree Road, or 20A, and this is California Road. And this incorporates what we're building today. So we have a few new wings, which it's, unless you've been to the campus, it's really not gonna mean much. A new neighborhood of patio homes. This is not a swimming pool, this is a pickleball court. I know it looks like one from above. But if you just look at this concept, this center area, this is our common area. This is the living room and of all of our existing community members, and so where all the amenities are. And then we've added some independent units along the way. So let's talk about, so I mentioned what we're adding. I went very quickly with the apartment styles and patio homes. I'm mostly excited about the renovations. So when you do a project like this, it does cost quite a bit for, to do all the construction. We're able to borrow a few extra dollars to really turn the common space, the amenities, upside down. So we think we have a beautiful space. We love the amenities we have to offer. But if we're going to add, say, 100 new people that are going to live at Fox Run, we need to step up our game with amenities. We also took the opportunity to better organize it. I think when you start really small and you kind of grow up, you add things here and there. So I'm going to just kind of give you an example of what we're doing. So starting with dining right here. So we're going to talk about dining, our wellness suite, and the entertainment district, which is probably the most fun piece. So with dining, we're renovating and expanding the Bob and Sally Beeler Oak Dining Room. You're adding more people, we need a bigger dining room, but we're changing the format. Right now our dining room is like this, which is lovely. It's a big open space with a lot of tables. We're gonna make it feel more like a restaurant. We're gonna have little sectioned areas, different styles of seating, really to make it feel more homey and more restaurant style, but also give you the opportunity to communicate and have a relationship or connect with your neighbors. With that, we have 2 restaurants. We have our formal dining room, and we also have a bistro. We're also doing the same thing with the bistro. We're changing the format a little bit. We're adding a teaching kitchen, which is really cool. So if you move it independently, you still have your own kitchen. You're going to make some of your own meals. You're welcome to have all of your meals in our restaurants, but the teaching kitchen will give us the opportunity to kind of show off with our dining staff, our executive chef, our sous chef, and they'll be able to show some meals that maybe you don't make on a regular basis, but they'll explain how to make it, and of course we have a dietitian that can chime in as well, and really kind of make some healthy meal options. And a fresh market. So we're sectioning off a portion of that dining area to add something a little new that Fox Run hasn't had before. We got this idea from other communities. It'll be a small grocery store, a market. You can go in for a quick meal, whether it's a cold salad or hot soup or a warm meal. There'll be the opportunity to buy dry goods like canned goods, crackers, small items, so you don't have to run to the store every time and have it right on site. Wellness. So our wellness suite really is a nice opportunity. Health and fitness is so important at Fox Run, and by moving everything to this new wellness suite, we can keep everything in one area. So we're adding a brand new spa with salon and massage therapy room. I understand our salon, the person running our salon is bringing in an esthetician. I didn't know what that was last time I did one of these. Thank you for explaining to me, Mary Lou. But that's exciting, and it's just another amenity and something we can add. Wellness is important. We have a wellness nurse that watches out for us. Did somebody back there ask what it is? Thank you for that. We have a wellness nurse who, I kind of joke and call her our school nurse. She doesn't do hands-on care, but she's available if somebody's not feeling well. She'll do blood pressure checks. She'll know, she'll contact your physician. She'll stay connected if you need to go to the hospital. She works hand in hand with Torino, our admissions coordinator, in case you need a temporary or a long-term stay in our health center. But she'll have her own office in this wellness area with a private exam room. Now, the private exam room is new for us, and it'll be great because we do have specialists who come. We have a podiatrist who visits. We work with Mobile Primary, who's now called Curana, and we do have a relationship with them where they do house calls with their nurse practitioner if you're signed up with them. So this gives us space and privacy to be able to do that. We're expanding our fitness center. Now this is very important. This is something when we've traveled to, we got a lot of our ideas from visiting other communities around New York State and Connecticut. And the fitness center is going to be so important, especially for the new generation moving in. So we're going to get rid of all of our existing equipment, buy all new stuff, and we're expanding it to include floor space for exercises such as yoga, Pilates, or even seated exercises. Whatever your need is, whatever your capability is, we will have a class that can accommodate your needs. And this will be, again, we're adding and expanding that space to be able to do that. And a new creative arts studio. So right now we have quite a few artists and folks who have hobbies with crafts, and we have a multi-purpose room. Well, this will be a designated space just for those crafts, and we're excited about that as well, with plenty of storage. All right, so, okay, this is just one of our pictures of our pool area. Oh, and this is a rendering of that craft room I was talking about. So there's a sink, plenty of storage, and it doesn't have a carpeted floor, so you can spill paint on the floor and not worry that you're gonna cause trouble. This is, again, an architect rendering. Let's move on to the entertainment district. Now, if you've been to Fox Run, the most popular place is our pub right now. We have happy hour 3 nights a week, and it's actually a very good time. The pub is very small, and we're getting rid of that pub now, I'm sorry. But we're expanding with a much larger pub in a different area, and we're very excited about that. Our goal with all of these, I'm stepping back a little, with everything we're doing is to create gathering space, and we're organizing it better. So what do I mean? We want, instead of jumping from here to here and just passing neighbors as you go, we want to get you all together because it makes more sense to know your neighbors and to really enjoy community living. So with this entertainment district, we're able to accomplish that. So we have a brand new expanded pub and billiards lounge. Again, new gathering space. We're adding a few fireplaces. Our common area is going to get a new fireplace. The entertainment district will have a new one right outside the pub, and we're adding one to our dining room as well. We're going to add a brand new library and card room, which I'll show you a rendering of in a second. And we're going to add a new theater, complete with a marquee and comfortable seating. Right now we show movies in our large event center. We want something with a more comfortable feel. It'll be a much smaller venue, but it'll be designated just for movies. We'll have the movie posters on the outside. It's going to be great. And this is one thing that we found in every community that we visit, a golf simulator. Now, we may not have all golfers in the room, but you can do other things with it. You can, I'm sure there's Wii Sports, and I heard there's kickball you can do it as well. But this golf simulator will also be for your children and your grandchildren, and for staff. After hours. So this is a picture of our brand new library, and we're very excited about this. So this is actually an expanded part of our building, but we're excited because of the beautiful glass rotunda that the architect designed. And this is going to allow quite a bit of natural light coming in. You can't see it here, but if you walk in and go to the left, it's almost Y-shaped, so there'll be computers on the other side. So hopefully we'll be able to accommodate all of your needs. We do have quite a few readers and folks that really enjoy the existing library that we had, and so they're very excited about this. So this is the inside of the library, and then this is the outside. So this, right to the right side of the screen is the main entrance. If you've been to Fox Run, we have a porch with an overhang covering, and there'll be a small walk going over to an entrance over here, and this is that rotunda from the other side. This is a rendering of that entertainment area. So here's the theater I was talking about, and there's the golf simulator, but this big open area, this is going to be a significant gathering space for us. So the bar's in the back to the right, and there'll be some TV screens, so it'll feel like an entertainment area. But the fireplace right in the middle here, and you'll notice the seating has different textures. And by the way, this rendering, this should be accurate for what we're building if you look at the styles. So there'll be different heights of seating, tables, there'll be a comfortable couch, but again, it's meant to bring people together and have a different look so you're not sitting in a giant room like this. It'll feel comfortable and allow you to socialize. Socialization is so important. Now let's talk about outdoors very quickly. Again, gathering space. The way they've designed we're adding 3 new wings with the apartments that are going to be added to Fox Run, and it's going to create natural courtyard space. So the one in particular is going to have a fire pit, a grill, outdoor seating. We're going to redesign our bocce court area. Bocce is very popular at Fox Run. Again, more gathering space, allow you to sit with friends. The pickleball courts is going to be very popular as well. We're going to make it a multi-use court, and I'll show you a rendering of that. We have a resident garden that's away from the main building across into a field, and there'll be resident gardens. And adjacent to that, there's a picnic shelter, essentially, a pavilion. We're going to expand that, and we're going to be able to have some nice dining events. So we're going to bring a grill out there permanently. Again, you'll see a picture in a second. And that pickleball court, we can double as a venue to put a tent over it and be able to have some events outside, which I'll show you a picture of one. It was very popular. So this is what it's going to look like. Right now the shelter does exist, but it doesn't have this stone wall. That's going to be added with the grill and some screens for shading, and you can see the seating. The pickleball court will be to your left, which you can't see here. And this is actual photos of a party we had done in the existing pavilion. So there's the resident gardens. You can sign up and have one of these for the season. They're 4x4, and you can see the folks with these high top tables having a few drinks. And of course, here's the pavilion where there's one of our servers with one of our dining events. Now let's look at some construction pictures. So our event center, the Michael J. Maloney Event Center, is going to be expanded. And we're adding a stage, just a small stage, and I've been in there already. I sneak in when the contractors leave at night, just so I can see what they're doing. And I stood on that stage, and it does give a different feel and a different approach to, we always have guest speakers throughout the year. We do a coffee hour 2 Fridays a month, and sometimes you hear us speak, and sometimes we'll bring in outside speakers with some pretty interesting topics. And they're very well received. We have coffee in Danish on those mornings. But this event center will allow us to better enhance that option. And it's also used for multiple things. We use it for religious services, and if we have a big event like an anniversary party, which we'll have one coming up in a couple of years, a big one, 20 years, we'll be able to move tables in there and have a fine dining experience. This is some of the progress in our dining room. This is a fireplace that's being added, and it'll have a ceramic tile, handcrafted ceramic tile around it. But those doors back there are going out to an outdoor patio, but the significant piece is off to the right here. There's a brand new room, an expanded room, with these glass doors, and it's gonna feel like this does, where you have the glass doors over on this side of the room where you get to feel like you're actually outside but you're inside. So we're adding that to our dining room. Here's some of the construction workers. Obviously, this a couple weeks ago when we had a little snow, but this crane is actually pouring the footers for some of our patio homes. And this was probably 2 weeks ago where they started actually putting up walls. And one of the 4, so the patio homes come in clusters of 2, they're duplexes. And this one that you see them starting, it has a roof and they're starting to shingle it. So they're moving very quickly. This is that rotunda for the library I pointed out. And just some more of the progress. And then finally, finally I'll leave this slide. This is an aerial view of what we're building, and then everything circled in red are the expanded pieces. So here's the common. So if you come into Fox Run, this is the main entrance, and then this is our largest wing. This little round things, that's that library. Over here is our fitness center that's being expanded. 2 other wings, and you can see where these 2 wings come together, it created this natural space. There is parking in the middle, but in the grassy areas, that's where we're gonna have a pergola, a grill, an outdoor fireplace, all very nice things. And then lower left here, these are the new patio homes. and of course the pickleball court pavilion. We are very excited for this project. If you've ever worked or spent time, whether it's your own home or you're in construction, there's a lot, and you see so much activity and so much noise, and our community members are being so gracious because they're living in this construction, because they know it's going to enhance not just the next generation, but the amenities that they have now, and invite in new neighbors. It really is a special community with a great culture, and they're looking forward to bringing in some new folks to they're able to spend some time with. So that's really all I have for construction and expansion. Do you have any questions for me or for Mary Lou? Yes, Mary Lou, any questions? No? Okay, well, I hope you, yes?
Are the patio homes gonna be built on a slab?
Yes,
If
so,
they are, is the heating for them going to be out of the ceiling? Or is there gonna be something built into the floor?
so yes, they are built on a slab, there's no basements. And the heating is, I believe the heating is in the second floor. I'm looking at Lisa right now. Okay, so no, it's not gonna be radiant from the floor. It'll be forced air, and the unit, I think the units in the existing patio homes are also in the second floor, yes. Yes?
As people get older, do you have like transportation to get from one side to the other and things like that?
Great question. The question was, as people age and maybe they're not able to drive, do we have transportation? So everything in here is connected. All these apartments, they're all connected through a breezeway here. You never have to go outside, which is great especially for the winter we just had. As for the patio homes, which are not connected, we don't currently offer transportation to move them inside. Most of the folks have their own cars and they do that, but we do have meal deliveries if you're unable to do so. But yes, our plan is going forward with the infusion of so many more people. We have 3 drivers right now. We're probably going to add more to the schedule and be able to accommodate that, but not currently.
Would you allow golf carts?
Would we allow golf carts? You know, I have gotten that question before, and I would say yes. It's never really been thought through, but it's a great suggestion. I think it's a great idea. I don't see why we couldn't have it. But just keep in mind, golf carts are only good for warm weather, right? Although we do have a housekeeping cart that has shields around it for when they go and clean those patio homes. Yes, sir?
Do we pay property taxes on living?
So you do not. So you're saying you as, let's say you're community members, you do not. And Fox Run has as a not-for-profit, we technically don't pay property taxes, but we do have a pilot agreement, which is payment in lieu of taxes, with the school, the county, and the town. So we do pay, Fox Run does pay probably, I'm looking at you, $800,000 right now, and it keeps escalating until year 36. But individual community members, they do not. Yes? Sure.
First, is there any tax advantages to being in a retirement community? I mean, can I write some of this off as a medical expense?
So I'm very excited that you asked that. So I used to be the CFO of Fox Run, and I worked in an accounting firm, and this was my client. So they fired me as the CFO and hired somebody much better. Yes, there is a tax advantage, a huge tax advantage to living at Fox Run. So we engage an actuary every year that does a calculation that looks at, they do everything. They plug in how many folks live at Fox Run, how much it costs to operate Fox Run, how many people live there, what their ages are, and it comes up with a % of your service fee that they are saying, now I'm not a tax expert and we can't pass ourselves off as such, but talk to your accountant. We will give you a letter every year to tell you what % of your service fee can be treated as a medical deduction on your Schedule A of your 1040. And that's significant. So we're talking, it's almost always, it's high enough that it goes over that threshold that it counts as a deduction. There's also a couple other small things. New York State has some special deductions. If you live in a CCRC, you do get, I don't know if it's a credit or an adjustment. It's been a while since I practiced, but there are other options. There's, if you spend time in our skilled nursing unit, there's also some tax advantages, but yes, there's a huge tax advantage to living in a CCRC. Yes, next question. I knew you had two.
Next
So the question was, how equipped are we if somebody has Parkinson's? So there's not an easy answer to that. So if you think of Fox Run this way, we have independent living, so folks who come in independently, you're expected to be able to, I guess, take care of your own needs. And we've had quite a few people who've had Parkinson's in the past, and as your needs change, we do have a health center that is well equipped for folks who have those needs. We have assisted living, which is essentially independent living with a little bit of help, and then skilled nursing for if you need quite a bit of help. So looking at our common area, it's built for folks who live independently. So there may be, we're not gonna, like, there'll be a rug like this where there's a transition into a hardwood floor. And if that's a problem, I mean, that's really up to the individual to be able to negotiate and navigate that. But we have folks, our wellness nurse and our team will be able to help. And we have a great therapy team that can also work with somebody to point out those potential hazards and work with them to better navigate through them.
So what if my personal situation is I'm a caregiver, full-time, I have an aide come into the house probably 6 hours a day.
Okay.
To help me. You know, I certainly want my husband to be with me.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
For as long as he can be, as long as I can do that. So let's say that I look at a patio home, I can still have, can you provide them for me, or do I need to provide them on my own? Or can I have the choice?
Okay, so I'll unwrap this for everyone. And this is actually a great topic to spend time on. So the scenario that was just laid out is you have a couple where one is a caregiver and one's needs unfortunately are changing and they need that additional help. And that caregiver may not necessarily be able to do it on their own, so they bring in additional help. Do we see scenarios like that, and how does it get set up? Yes, we have quite a few of that, that exact scenario currently where we have couples, they want to stay together, they want to live in the same apartment, so we help as much as we can, but it's really up to that individual to be able to bring, if they're going to bring in additional help like a companion service, it'll be up to the individual to do the hiring, but we do have recommendations. And just a quick side note, that competitor we talked about, Canterbury Woods, we have a joint venture where we've created a home care license. We just did this. It was just accepted in February with Canterbury. It's called Fox Woods. And we're going to have home care services that will be available just to the Fox Run campus and the Canterbury Woods campus. We're very excited because this is another thing we can offer that doesn't come in your service fee. That'll be additional help you're paying for. But we will help as much as we can to get you a person, but it's really up to you to coordinate, but our team does help with that coordination. And yes, we have folks in patio homes where one really could use the help of a health center, but wants to stay at home because they have a spouse who is able to care for them with some help. But just know that the health center is there for a reason, and although you want to stay together, we've seen folks do it as long as they can, and then when that spouse moves to the health center, you could see the health of the caregiver gets a little better, and they visit every day because, as I pointed out, all of this is in the same roof. It's just, you have to walk down the hallway to get there. Did that help?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, sir.
How many beds in assisted living and skilled nursing, and how do they relate at all with hospice?
So we have 34 assisted living beds. We have 18 memory care at the assisted living level, and we have 60 skilled nursing beds. So, and those numbers, again, were developed by an actuary to make sure we have enough to accommodate the folks that live independently. And we also work very hard with bed management to make sure that we're not full, and if you have a need, there's no room for you. So we work very hard. Every week we have a meeting with our service coordination team. Hospice services do work with our skilled nursing unit. We have folks that use hospice services where they've come into their apartment or in assisted living, but we do work with them in skilled nursing, and we coordinate. We will call them in, and then their caregivers will come in our unit. Now, I think we do a great job with that. We have folks who say, we love what hospice does, Fox Run team does the same thing, and they choose not to, but yes, we do work with them. Right here in front. Do we allow pets? We have so many dogs that live at Fox Run. Yes, we do. It's your home, And we do have limitations, so, you can't bring a horse in or a goat, but we have folks with 8 pets. We have, sorry Mary Lou, we have bent the rules and let people come in with more than one, but it has to be reasonable and it's case by case basis, but we have plenty of dogs and plenty of cats that live at Fox Run. Yes, sir.
Are grab bars part of your responsibility, or are they the responsibility of the tenants?
So we provide the grab bars. So I think they're already going to be in the restroom and the shower. But if there's additional needs, we can work with you and have them installed. Yes? Are you reading from a list? It's so intimidating. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
I have to take notes because my mom's not here. In terms of the theater, library, education, does that stuff cost extra? Like, are you renting the garden? How does that?
No, it's all included. So that's a great question. So with the amenities that I talked about, is there an a la carte extra cost? There's not. That's just part of living at Fox Run. So if you move in independently, it's part of your service fee. So the restaurant comes with dining meal dollars. There are limitations. It's based on the concept of a meal a day, but we do we offer flexibility. We do a point system. But the other things, the fitness center, our fitness instructor does one-on-ones for free. But we may change that by bringing in some other folks because there's going to be an infusion of more people. But the fitness center, use of the equipment, the pool, all of that is part of your service fee. The event center, the movie theater, golf simulator, the pub, you're going to have to pay for your own drinks, but just having that available is part of the service fee. Yes?
How about the salon and esthetician?
The salon and esthetician, I have to say it slowly because I feel like I'm going to say it wrong. Those are additional costs. And so the salon is not a Fox Run employee, neither is the esthetician. But from what I understand, it's very reasonable, almost too reasonable, and we will include that. Where's Melissa? We include that on the bill, right?
Yes.
Okay, we can include that on a monthly statement, so you can pay us, and then we reimburse the stylist. I saw an arm over, a hand over. Oh yes.
The current population, expanded population, average age, average income.
Okay. Current population, expanded population, average age, and
Average income.
okay, I don't know what the average income is for folks that live at Fox Run. The average age, Mary Lou will tell me, is
86.
that's including our health center. I would say independently it's probably lower, around 83,
And on the wait list, it's about 76.
and the wait list is much younger. We have 180 current independent living apartments and patio homes. Many of them are couples, so if you add the two together, it's about 230 independent living residents and another 100 people that live in our health center. With the 71 new units that we're adding, we're guessing about 100 new people independently, so instead of 230, we'll go up to 330, still have 100 that are in our health center, and if you're wondering about employees, Pierre, where are we at?
287.
287. Yes?
This is sort of probably a softball question.
Thank you for that.
I'm sure you have a plan to support all this and keep it in place for the next 20 years.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about the regulation, the oversight of that.
Sure. So Fox Run is very heavily regulated. There's a reason there's only 12 CCRCs in the entire state of New York. It's because New York State regulation can be overbearing, and just as comparison, there's over 200 in Pennsylvania. But we report to the New York State Department of Health and the New York State Department of Financial Services. So what that means is everything we do is scrutinized. So every year we do an annual budget, and it has to go to the state for approval. So this isn't just Fox Run saying, here's what it costs to live there. The state reviews it and approves it. Every annual service fee increase, which it does go up for inflation, gets approved by the New York State Department of Financial Services. Now, to pay for all of this is done through bond financing. They're tax-exempt bonds. We had to go through quite a bit of red tape to get this process approved and to get the financing approved. So again, it goes through several layers at the state, and without their approval, we wouldn't be able to do this. And I'd say construction costs are about $45 million to do all of what we're doing right now. And keeping that in mind, I'm very proud to say that Fox Run, which opened during a recession back in 2007, is considered one of the most successful CCRCs in the country. Our bonds, our public bonds, are investment grade rated, which less than 10% of all the CCRCs in the country are able to say that. Now, we're not AAA rated like a government agency would be, or IBM. We are, is IBM still legit to say that? We're triple B. And the unique thing is as soon as you go to a rating agency and say, we're going to expand and add more debt, it's an automatic decline in your rating. So we expected a decline from triple B to go to triple B minus, and our banker said for the first time in his 20-year career, he's never seen it, Fitch maintained our ratings. So the Fitch rating agency said, your numbers, your projections are so strong, and the future's so bright, we're gonna keep it at triple B, and it's only gonna get better from there. Yes, sir?
Are you able to name the company that sold the bonds for this facility?
So Ziegler Capital was the underwriter for our bonds, and they sold it to a number of large institutional investors.
So is Stifel holding the bonds?
Is who?
Stifel brought out PPP, it's his original financing.
You know, I don't know who the actual bondholders are. I don't recognize that name either, but I can just tell you who the underwriter was. Sorry, I don't know who the bondholders are. We just know we work through Ziegler who underwrote them. Yes.
The prices that are in the brochure right now, I'm assuming that in 2027, those prices will increase. Is there a certain annual percentage that's fixed, or does it depend on a lot of different circumstances?
Okay, so the question was, the prices that are listed now, will they go up in 2027? And are those changed? Is there a fixed cost, or, so every year we have to propose a budget, and we start at a 0% increase, and then we go from there. So we try to keep it as low as possible, and I think that's why our community members are very happy with us. We target around 3%, and we hope to keep it that way. We have had years where inflation went way up, where it was a little higher. We've had years where it was a little lower. It is not fixed, it's variable based on the cost to operate. We budget to break even. So it's not for profit. We're not looking for the extra money to build the coffers. We're very strict with our budget, and again, the state reviews it. We can't fluff it because they'll call us out. And our goal is to break even. And with that, because we started at such a hard time during that recession in 07, 08, we have this mentality that we're gonna offer the best care but keep our belt tight. So we're not frivolous. So we try to keep, this is Buffalo. Downstate, I'm very close with all the CEOs of the other communities. They're looking at 6-7% every year. We've been able to keep it around 3% every year, and that's been our goal. And expansion will help that. So by bringing in additional revenue, it's gonna help us keep, because you can see a trend. The operational cost just goes up enough every year. And eventually the expenses will catch up. By expanding, we're gonna be able to create a gap between revenue and expense and be able to keep those service fees low, which is why we're getting so much support from our current community members, because they know that this is our goal and we're gonna keep it as low as possible. I love finance questions, as you can tell. I can make different energy level. Any more softballs out there?
I don't know how south it is, but
Okay.
what's the average length of stay for some of your residents?
Well, that's a good question. The average length of stay. I don't know that I've ever been asked that one. I'm staring at Melissa. Maybe she can come up with something. Well, I can tell you we have pioneers who still are very active at Fox Run. And we have folks who come in very young and move quickly through the health center. So, anyone want to help me with this one? Do we have an average?
Youngest resident, 62.
Well, yes. So our youngest resident is 62, and our somebody said 60.
Oldest is 105.
Oh, we have somebody who's 105 that goes to every happy hour, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. She's fantastic. She does not want any recognition, by the way. She'll be 106 this year. We said, can we bring the news in? She refuses. She's just very quiet, and she's wonderful. But average, I don't have a good answer for you. I'm sorry. At least I'm being honest. I don't know how long the average length of stay is. So we have anywhere from very quick turnover to some people who've been, still quite a few that have been here for 18 years. And the same goes with staff too. So I've only been at Fox Run for 16 years. And if you look around at our team of directors, the folks that operate our community, our, I'd say, newest director has been there 6 years. Everyone else has been there longer. So we have a lot of experience, and I think it says something about the community we're hoping you're interested in moving into, that we don't really have staffing issues. We're the only health center in all of Western New York that's never used agency, which I think speaks volumes. I mean, people were desperate for a while because there's a nursing shortage and aides, certified nursing assistants that are in skilled nursing. It's hard to find them. Folks like our culture, and we haven't had a turnover. We haven't had a staffing issue. Yes?
So what is the status of the wait list?
So the status of the wait list right now, and I'm hoping Mary Lou can help me. Right now we have over 160 people who are on our wait list waiting to move in. A number of those are for the expanded units. We do have expanded units available. I think some of the folks on the list have been there a little while and they said, we don't want to specify it. We'll take either or, so they haven't picked one of those units, but the new units are available. So it's quite large, which is a big reason why we're expanding, and our popularity keeps growing. And for patio homes, which we're adding 8 more, there's a 2 to 3 year wait list for those. But don't be afraid by a wait list. Don't be scared by this wait list, because I can tell you a story where a patio home opened up and the top 10 people, because we go in order of who's been here longest, all said, no, I'm not ready. And the gentleman and his wife who put a deposit down the month before moved in right away in a month. But we have folks who have been desperately waiting for 2 and 3 years as well. Yes? So we're asking for 10% of the entrance fee. So depending on the unit that or the style you choose, whatever that entrance fee is, a 10% deposit will get you on that wait list.
What happens if you decide, I can't wait that long?
What's that? Oh, and, I'm sorry, that 10% deposit, that goes in an escrow account in your name. It's held by M&T Bank, and then it does earn some interest. So if you change your mind, if you've given us 10% 3 months later, we just give you the paperwork and M&T Bank will refund that directly to you. And what was your follow-up? Oh, did? All right. It's so hard because someone was talking in my ear, so I didn't hear everything you said. Yes?
If you are on the wait list, how many opportunities do you have to decline before you are removed from the wait list?
Very well. 3.
And you move to the bottom of the list. You never get removed unless you want to be removed.
So if you're on our wait list and we say, hey, there's a unit available, and you turn it down because you're not ready, you get another shot, and after 3, you go to the dungeon. And no, you just go down the list. And it doesn't mean you're never called, it just means you may have to wait a little longer.
So you say, you first say, I can't do it right now, you go to the bottom of the list?
No, if you get 3, we'll call you first. If you're first on our wait list, you're gonna get a call for the first 3 that open up. You say no, and then 6 months later, Mary Lou calls you and says, hey, that style is open, and you say no again, you're still the first call on the 3rd try. At that point, you get moved down to the bottom. Whoops. Yes, I tripped on my own.
When you put down your down payment and you get added to the wait list, does that putting down the 10%, does that go in and the price is for that day?
So the question is, if you put your 10% down, what happens to the price when that particular style of apartment opens up? So we will hold that entrance fee. We're only allowed to hold it for the existing year. So if you put a deposit down in, say, today, and by the end of the year, we already know they're going up, you get the previous year. There's only a 1 year lag. I'm really not explaining this very well. If you get 2 years away, it follows you, so it only goes back 1 year.
Okay.
Does that make sense? So if your entrance fee is X, and a year later, you're ready to move in, you still get that entrance fee. 2 years later, you get that one plus the next year. So that increase, because the entrance fees go up every year as well. So if you move in 2027, you get 2026 pricing. If you move in 2028, you get 2027 pricing. I should have started there, right? Can you believe this guy runs the place? I can't either. But I like this interaction. I hope this just shows you that there's transparency. We try to share as much as we can. So you can hit me with any more softballs or tough questions if you have any. I thought I saw a hand over here. Oh, you good? Okay, you had enough of hearing me? Good. Oh, no. Is there somebody over here that has a question? Yes. Okay. Thank you for saying it. Yes, we have a woodworking shop. It's always been there, and it is very popular with a very small selected group of folks who they're carpenters. That's their hobby. They actually fix things for for their neighbors around campus. And I can tell you, I shouldn't share this, but the tools they have in this wood shop, I use it too. When nobody's looking, I'll go in early because they have that table saw, which if it hits your thumb, it shuts off. I didn't test it, I refuse to. But they have quite a bit of great equipment in there. And there's some gentlemen who are there day in and day out because it's their hobby. And my father was actually supposed to move into Fox Run, and he was very excited about it too. Unfortunately, he couldn't, but yeah, he was. It's very impressive. Yes.
The 80% refundable life care plan,
Yes.
is there a timeline on that? Like, it's only good for 4 years, like after 4 years, you now forego the whole thing?
Okay, so I'll explain this a little more. So the 80% refundable plan, whether it's Choice Care or our regular 80% refundable, that 80% refund stays with you throughout as long as you're at Fox Run. The declining balance was the traditional plan, as Mary Lou described. Because it's a lower price point, there's actually a reduction every month of 2% until after 4 years that one's gone. But the 80% refundable is always. So you could be here 20 years, that 80% of that initial entrance fee will go back to your estate.
Are you also saying that if I ended up in skilled nursing, that money recovering in skilled nursing, there's not an additional fee?
There is not, so great question. So what happens when you go to skilled nursing? That entrance fee you pay that once, that's it, and then it's done. And then 80% of it goes back to your estate or to you if you choose to move out. Your service fee in independent living, which covers all those amenities, stays with you throughout our health center. So let's say, I'm just gonna throw a number out, you're paying $3,500 a month independently for all the amenities and all the things we talked about. You go to skilled nursing, which is about $15,000 a month, you're still only paying $3,500. It stays with you. So life care, this life care plan is really a form of long-term care insurance, which is why we're regulated by the New York State Department of Financial Services. So this is part of what you're getting with moving into Fox Run, this life care. That doesn't change as your health needs change. It'll go up a little for inflation, just for the natural cost of doing business, but it doesn't change with the health center. Yes?
With your monthly service fee, when you get your bill, is there a line for New York State tax assessment? My mom just recently passed away, and she was at OLB.
Mm-hmm.
Every month, there was a $1,000 assessment fee. It cost $12,000, you get $6,000 back in refund. Put in your income.
Okay, the question is, does your service fee include a New York State assessment? If you go to skilled nursing and you are a permanent resident of skilled nursing, it has to be permanent. New York State does add a New York State cash receipt assessment, and I believe it's 6.2% of what you're paying. It's a pain because it's additional money that you're paying, and it will be added to your bill, but you file a tax return, you get six of the 6.2 back as a refund. And why they do that, now I'm going back to my accounting firm days, I think it's a way for New York State to get federal funding, so they charge you and then they give it back. It's kind of a weird thing they do, but yes, that does get added to a bill only in skilled nursing. Yes? I like random questions.
So you're a couple that lives in, no care, a no care facility, independent.
Okay.
And then one half of your house needs skilled nursing.
Yes.
That was already answered,
Okay, so what happens in a scenario where a couple moves in together and one can still live independently but doesn't feel they're able to care for their spouse and their spouse needs a health center? We have quite a few of these as well. Yes, they occupy 2 spaces and that service fee doesn't change. So you may have Mrs. in the apartment still, in the 2-bedroom apartment where children and grandchildren visit because you still need that extra bedroom. And then Mr. unfortunately either has short-term needs in our skilled nursing or long-term. You can occupy both spaces and it's not an additional charge, as long as you're both under the same contract. I feel like every question starts new questions. Yes?
So do people ever start out in like an apartment and then want to move to a patio home or vice versa?
I'll tell you why Mary Lou's laughing. The question is, do people move in an apartment and then change their mind and say, I want to move to a patio home? Sorry, Mary Lou, but yes, this does happen. It is a lot because the move-in process is significant and then turnovers of units. But yes, it does happen where folks decide, I love where I live, but I think I want a little more privacy or I want more space, and they've moved out to a larger unit. Yes, it has happened, and vice versa. Yes?
In order to get the level secured, you have to start in independent, or can you start in assisted living?
Okay, so the question is, can you start in independent or start in assisted living? So in order to get a contract, we do a health qualifier, a health assessment to make sure you can live independently. We're allowed to do this because we're a long-term care insurance model. So we do have some folks that move directly into our health center. We're able to do that temporarily until we fill up. But if you move directly to our health center, you won't get this life care contract. You'll be paying the full private pay rate. So in order to get this contract and be part of the CCRC community, you would have to move in independently first. So that's why we encourage everyone, don't wait, because we have folks who say, I'm not ready on that, and then their health needs change, and we're unable to bring them into our health center, and we're unable to bring them into independent as well.
So if somebody started in assisted living, then they couldn't even walk. They needed it.
So I guess so if somebody comes in privately because we have available space in assisted living and then they need skilled nursing, if we have space, we will take them. But again, they're paying the full private pay rate. But the priority goes to the folks who have a life care contract. So we've had outsiders come in assisted living and need skilled nursing, and we haven't been able to accommodate. They have to go somewhere else because those beds are reserved for the folks who have this contract. I know it's very confusing. A question like this, again, I recommend you spend some time with a sales counselor to hear it for the first time. I'm sure it's a little confusing, you have additional questions. Have that conversation, sit down, and it'll make a lot more sense. Okay, well, thank you all for your time. I thank you for the question and answer, and I hope you enjoyed the presentation, and I hope you enjoy lunch.